Good morning, everybody. It's a great pleasure to meet you once again. Introducing another young man, Mr. Puru Dubey, who has got 86th rank in this year UPSC examination. Before I start, let me give you a brief introduction about Puru. A brilliant student who got around 97% in 10th, 95% in plus 2, subsequently 9.45 CGPA in IIT Banaras. He comes from an academic family known for his creativity, academic excellence, and most importantly, he is a modest, grounded, and a hardworking boy who could translate his devotion, commitment, drive into success. Two most important things I want to tell the students, those who are watching this video. Always you'll be finding out your intellectual ability is not a pathway to determine your success only. In order to become successful, you must have to go for a well-designed, purposive preparation. So before you decide to write the exam, you should prepare a blueprint. One, what you all are going to study. Two, the informations you are gathering, how are you going to condense it? Three, these informations, how you are using that in your examination hall. While reading the questions, you need to understand the spirit of the question. Many times I feel worried about the students when they prepare from one source material and try to reproduce that in the exam. I was discussing with Puru and also with other candidates, those who have cleared, that to clear the exam, one cardinal truth you must have to keep in mind. Answer to the question, don't answer with reference to the content you have gathered. The content you are gathering on a particular topic can address to different kinds of question. So first thing you have to primarily keep in mind is why that question is asked by the examiner. What is the spirit behind the question? Purpose of asking this question. Then look into various dimensions you can bring into that particular question. Only then your answer will be carrying quality. It will be carrying distinction. Your answer will be a treat for the examiner. Then marks will flow. So please keep two things in mind. Prepare your own notes than being primarily focusing attention on one source material. Collect material from different sources. Knowledge is like snow falling from the sky. Depending on your carrying capacity, you hold it together. When you are making a garland, different flowers carrying different colors, adding to the beauty of the garland. And imagine if you make a garland that only carries one kind of flower with one color, it will not be looking that pleasant and elegant.
Thank you, sir, for that kind words. It really means a lot. And since my association with you has been for as long as I have been preparing for UPSC, I can recall that after every examination, you would call me when the results were out, asking, are you in or out? After the first mains, when I could not clear, you called me 5 minutes after the results were out. After the second attempt, when my interview, even then you called. So it means a lot to be sitting here beside you, and for such kind words that you have told about me.
No, bro, actually, the fact is, I didn't call you to primarily know about your result. If people like you don't clear the exam, it's a loss for the country. Empathy, sensitivity, devotion to work, discipline, academic excellence, and a desire to work for the country. That could be seen in the face of the children you teach. If such kind of students don't clear, it's a loss for our country. I was very much worried when I saw that your name is not there, whom I considered as moderate students, they cleared the exam, your name was not there. So I was disappointed, but I knew that you will be clearing it today or tomorrow. So I was not much more worried. Only my problem was to see you composed and back into the business once again. Because I was worried that if you lose interest, you may go somewhere quitting UPSC altogether. Thank God you didn't do that. I am happy that everything primarily ends well. So now you have a clear and primarily, bright future waiting for you. Acha, Puru, tell me how this journey for UPSC started with you. You are such a bright student, good engineer. You could have gone for engineering, got a very good fat pay package. So why did you come for UPSC?
Sir, I started preparing for UPSC during my college days. But since I have been a bright student and I have been made aware of it every time in my family, in my village, in my school, so I always wanted the best for me. And accidentally, I went to IIT BHU where I did my BTech, but I was always asking for the right career where I will be able to shine the most. And many options were there. Civil services was one among them. When I met various alumni who had already cleared the examination, the perspectives that they gave when they returned back to the college, I thought that civil services is one of the best careers. And it was in 2021 that I finally started preparing for the civil services. I had no grand ambition, actually. I did not want to solve a problem for the country. I just wanted to do the best. And I thought that civil services were the best career. And gradually, I developed interest in the subject. Humanities was new for me. I began to appreciate sociology, international politics, and gradually, I developed a likeness for the career in diplomacy. So I chose IFS as the first.
What has been the role of family, in this particular, journey, and how parents supported you all through these 3 years?
Sir, my family has been one of the bedrock of my preparation. From early on childhood, they have believed in me more than myself. And when I was thinking about not sitting for the placements in the college, then my father advised me that it's better you take a master's degree or maybe take a job first, have some experience, whether you really want UPSC or not. But I was insistent that I want it and I want it now. And I was so hurried about it that I wanted in the first or the second attempts. And when the failures kept coming, I can recall that my father would talk to me. He would say that, be objective. There must be something that you must have missed out.
Very good.
And this way of seeing things always kept in me the zeal to improve. My mother never cared for UPSC exam more than she cared for me. So it was never an issue of pressure from the family for me. My siblings and all, everyone looks up to me. So the support that the family gave has been one of the important things in my preparation.
That is very important for the parents who will be watching this video. See, our kids can put their effort. They can stay disciplined. They will be putting hard work. They will be doing their part of the job. Success is not in our hands. This special interview with Puru is a reminder to all of us that even though you are a brilliant student, you are 0.0001% of the best students of the best university. It's very difficult to clear UPSC in first attempt because it requires certain kind of, once you come from the university system, you are exposed to varieties of subject. Knowing the subject, knowing the art of writing, revising the content, connecting the content with the kind of questions that you get, these require preparation, breathing space students need, kids need. If the parents are putting pressure on them, that clear in this attempt, we will be giving time, you will be giving 2 attempts, 2 chances. You put loads of pressure on the kids. They cannot carry forward these pressures. They cannot bear these pressures. And these pressures is the most important reason for which many bright children don't clear the exam. They will clear the exam, they have ability, they have potentiality. We have to give them support. I'm very happy that your parents never put you under stress. As you rightly pointed out, every mother in the world wants child should be happy. Every father wants child should be successful. So both these kind of, stimulation given by the parents keep the child happy, disciplined, and at the end successful. Puru, tell me, why did you opt for sociology being an engineering student?
Sir, it was a chance meeting with a serving civil servant who was from our own college. She had come to visit. She was also your student. So she told me about the subject. I was still in a dilemma to decide. And she had scored really well. So marks or the scoring aspect was one consideration. But I had also been introduced to sociology in the college. There are optional elective courses. Mm-hmm. So we were introduced, a rough idea I had. And then I also thought that I would be having an opportunity to learn something. Mm-hmm. I've always been a learner. Mm-hmm. I'll always be a learner.
Yes.
And sociology was something that I really enjoyed also. Mm-hmm. So I'm happy with the decision.
Tell me how sociology changed your perception about the things surrounding you.
Sir, it changed many things actually, and I could go on and about it. But the first is, there are many things that we take for granted. We believe that we act rationally. But once when one analyzes the society, the patterns in which people behave, there emerge some generalizations or some laws of sort on how the society is moving. And then I have come to appreciate that human beings may not be fully rational at all. And the second thing is empathy. As a person, empathy grows with experience or with knowledge. And learning sociology, understanding caste, understanding racism, understanding the challenges of women made me more empathetic and to be able to understand their problems. So these are two, but there are many other things that sociology.
See, actually, many professors used to tell me that students are writing mechanical answer without feeling for the subject. But I'm quite happy that whenever you write sociology, it's not the content that is there. A perception, feeling, and deeper understanding is there in your answers. So, tell me, nowadays students are telling that one kind of structured answer they should write, that will be giving them good score. To what extent it is correct that one kind of book, one kind of material you just learn, reproduce, can that impress upon the examiner to get a good score?
Sir, I would like to take the examiner's perspective. Mm-hmm. The examiner is a busy person. He has many copies to check. And probably he may not be interested. Mm-hmm. And in that 10 minutes, I have to grasp the attention of the examiner. Mm-hmm. If my answer is mechanical, such as it starts with a definition and then breaks the question into parts and then goes around 5 points here, 5 points there, the examiner might not be interested. Although he may give me good marks, but he might not be impressed. So, seeing from that perspective, there can be no mechanical answer. Whatever the question asks, the introduction should be the face of the answer.
Very good.
It should try to answer what is the essence of the question and what the student is going to write in the following sections. And that is a natural exercise. It should come naturally. There can be no mechanical things. I'll take an example. For example, in paper 2, we are taught the topic of slums.
And by the way, paper 2, you will be having highest mark. I was talking to people, so that is highest mark in UPSC, paper 2.
I think so. I'm not aware of it.
Hmm.
So I think it's possible. In paper 2, we are taught the topic of slums. And I was thinking about it only yesterday. But have you ever wondered what is the story of people who migrate to the cities? The expectations, the networks, the hidden levers of caste behind them, and the anguish or the despair that comes to them when they finally come to the city, and the challenges that they face. The lens of criminality with which the middle class looks at them. All these things, if I cannot feel them, how would I pen them in 7 minutes?
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. So people write so mechanical answer, I keep on telling them and breaking my head. So, that flow of thinking, connecting the things together. So an examiner will be reading an answer like a story. If that story is missing out, feeling is missing out, then answer becomes stereotypical. And the student tells her, we are not getting good marks, this is what is happening. So they are very much interested in dropping names. Okay, so what are the books and references, materials? I should ask you this because almost all the books you must have read. Tell me the basic books that a student who is preparing for sociology should read or should not read.
Sir, in UPSC preparation, better than books are the content that is provided by experienced mentors and teachers. Your notes were one of the basic source for me, and I added on by using various sources. Harlem Bose, The Blue Book, is a perfect source for the last 5 chapters of paper 1, including thinkers also. Also, for understanding thinkers, I found a book by, I'm forgetting, Kenneth Allen. For greater conceptual understanding. I've used various books. I'm not going to mention them. For paper 2, EPG Pathshala, the MA course, was something that I found interesting also and found very rich in content. But one has to be very careful in using them because they are meant for master students and not for UPSC aspirants.
Good. You prepared your own notes?
Yes, sir. I had my foundation notes from you, but I tried to minimize, shorten them.
Yes.
And prepare some crisp notes for paper 1 and paper 2.
Paper 2, very good. Tell me, when you read a question, in the exam, when you read a question, how you try to address to the demand of the question?
Sir, the first question that comes to my mind, because of the training that you and other mentors have given me, is to ask, why is the question even asked? Or what is the story behind the question?
Wonderful.
For example, I was recently only thinking about comparison between Emile Durkheim and Robert Merton on deviance. Everyone knows what they have to say, and probably students have a table marked up for the same. But how do we begin the question? To begin the question, I prefer to find the essence of the question. So I might begin by saying that both Merton and Durkheim treat deviance not as an individual pathology, but as a social fact or social reality. But whereas Durkheim focuses on the functions, Robert Merton focuses on the structure or the adaptation to the structural state. This is how we can begin.
Yes.
And then the content will go on. The content is there with students.
See, always what happens, when a sociologist is writing something, his writing is a reflection on the condition present in society. When Durkheim was writing his sociology, French society changing from tradition to modernity, and during this transitional stage, he finds out chaos, he finds out confusion, racial conflict, ethnic differences. So he is reflecting on that and talking about deviance. and talking about how anomy prevails when there is no conscience collective. Morton's case is different. Morton is a Jew settling down in America. He is finding out how racial prejudices are present and people are labeled as deviant. He tells no. Deviants go for deviation because means are there, ends are not there. End is accomplished not by using the means. So therefore he is talking about different kinds of permutations and combinations, considering reality is dynamic. So if a student applying his mind starts primarily the whole question, deviance is a product of society. It is primarily functional because it is initiating social change. It is functional because people should know people are not labeled as deviants. Deviance is conditional. It is structural. If anomy is present in structure, you fit into that structure. So this is a brilliant, way of looking at it. And Puru, tell me, all these 2 years, you was a brilliant student. Narrowly you missed it. Went for the interview. How do you compose yourself?
For the interview?
No, these 2 attempts when you didn't qualify. Again, you came back and primarily gave your best, and here you are today. So that should be a learning experience for these students. Those who primarily, consider nahi mere se nahi ho payega, they give it primarily, they abandon it altogether. So how should you be telling them to have their guts, put their strength together, and every morning will be a new morning for them?
Sir, when we meet failure, like I did in my first 3 attempts, it hurts, and it's okay to be hurt. It's okay to feel bad for the initial few days or initial few hours, depending upon the person. But if I have a goal in mind, and if I have the attitude that there must be something that I missed out in this attempt, then automatically the jail to improve comes. I can recall after my first interview, it was 16th April when the results were announced in the afternoon, and I could not clear it. 17th April, 7 a.m., I was the first in the library because I knew that I had left out many things, and it was the time to do. So this is an attitude that I have gained out of my parenting, I would say. My father, who always stresses upon the objectivity. But I've also had the privilege of support. You were there all throughout. My friends were there. My parents, my whole family. I have an extended family. Everyone was there with me and everyone supported me all throughout. My siblings listened to my rants. So that also helped. So I've been blessed in that regard.
See, actually, teachers having faith in a student, parents having faith in a child, it manifests the character of the child. Because the day one when I communicated with you, I knew that this boy is a material for UPSC. And not only UPSC, I knew whatever you do, you'll be doing wonders in that. You have that character, you have that conviction, you have that potentials, and you have that aptitude. So my biggest story all through these years was that he should not break down. He should not abandon the whole process itself, because country is going to need a bright boy who is going to do some good things. That was my biggest worry. So instead of talking to others when result comes, I was much concerned about you. So, I had the faith because you will be making it. Because the way you are primarily, not only sociology, the way you ask questions about everything. You maintain calm, you are composed, you do your business nicely, directions you follow meticulously. So what more a teacher can ask for? Tell me how your overall preparation went.
Sir, I started in 2021 seriously, although I had been contemplating about it during my BTech days. And initially I thought that I would do it on my own, like I had done in JEE. But after 8 months, I felt that I needed help. And so I came to you, I came to other mentors and teachers. In the first attempt, I was preparing from home, and I could not clear the mains examination. So the day the results came, the next day I was in Delhi. I rented a place in Patel Nagar and started preparing. Thankfully, that year too, I cleared the prelims and even the mains, went to the interview. But during the interview, I felt that I did not have enough time because my dates were usually in the first phase. So, and I had not seriously studied after the mains. So I was caught unprepared after the results were out. And I would rush to coachings, ask people's opinions on how I speak, on what my personality is. Usually, not to their fault, but usually they point out what can be improved. And when 5 people give 2 negative comments each, 10 negative comments get piled up. And for a person who's going to appear before the interview in few days, it can also have a negative impact.
Yes.
In the second attempt too, the same thing happened. So, in the interview. So, I knew I had to do something about it because this had become a stumbling block for me. And this year, I started preparing even before the results were out, started working on my communication skills. And you might notice I may have improved. And I also started reading in depth to understand things in greater conceptual clarity. And thankfully, I got the time also in this attempt. And when I went for this year's interview, I could see that I was one of the most cheerful and confident candidate out there.
See, very good. So here also one thing you have to remember. When a candidate is going for interview, he is in a state of anxiety. And he is not very sure about how his performance would be. If he is taking so many mock interviews here and there, instead of asking the candidate to improve upon his potentials, so it is always being identified where he has gone wrong. At the end of the day, as he rightly pointed out, so many negative comments when piled up and develop self-doubt. So therefore, a person who is primarily not considered as so good in the interview, in mock interview, that person gets more than 200 marks. So therefore, we have to always ensure that mock interviews are not grilling experiences for the candidates. It's a training experience where from students will be gathering a lot of confidence, and carrying that confidence, they'll be giving a better performance in the interview. And let me just make it clear. The people sitting in the interview are extremely cordial. They want to get best out of the candidate than primarily putting the candidate into corner. So we should be training candidates in that way. They are confident, they be at their own self. They are expressing primarily, whatever they feel as correct, than being stressed or strained. So interview have done pretty well this time.
Yes.
And you had that potential. Only thing is, right time it should click. So what else you are going to advise the students, those who are watching you now?
Sir, there are many advices to give, and advices are plenty.
Yes.
So the first advice is to take all advices with a pinch of salt. Reach out to the most experienced, most credible faculties and mentors in the industry. They will be able to help the most because they have trained more aspirants than you can think of. And also prioritize mental health. This journey can be long and grueling. It can take a toll upon your mental health. So it's best to maintain some distance from unnecessary things. Focus on develop relationships with friends and have faith. Ultimately, everything is going to get sorted out. And as my friend says, peace out. You are never in control anyway.
Anything else?
Nothing that I can think of.
So tell me, we are running a kind of enrichment program.
Yes.
So you just tell me how this enrichment program did help you in any way, or how this program can be improved.
Sir, in the enrichment program, usually we have tests for each papers, 5 to 6 questions for each papers, followed by discussions from you or other mentors. I found them useful because in the foundation period, we do not get the time to digest upon the material or the content in sociology. So when we are made to learn the subject through questions, then greater clarity comes to us. An improvement, of course, can be made on the lines of answers that are given. Usually, a student has only 7 minutes, and he cannot do anything with the mass of content that is given in the name of answer.
Yes.
The task of a student is more difficult than that of someone who provides the answer. So, if the answers are sorted, then it would be more easier for the student.
Yes. The answer should be crisp, it should be organized, it should be put within the word limits so a student can read it, digest it and reproduce it.
Yes.
That will be beneficial. See, what I keep telling always to the students, that a particular question can be addressed in different ways. And examiner will be finding out different kinds of flavors in the same answer. But most of the time what I see, a structured, tutored answer, one kind of answer everybody prepares, because I got this information from many. When students write same content, examiner reads it and he can make out this answer is primarily prepared and students are learning and reproducing it. And there is a great chance that students may lose marks in that. So how can students read a particular question and prepare their answer that will be different from the answers of others? You have done that many times, I've seen.
Sir, for that, there's a greater truth or the greater learning that I have come upon. That is, the word is not the thing. It was said by a philosopher, but I have come to realize this in every aspect of my life. When, as a student, we are reading some material or some answer, we have to understand that the word is not the thing. We have to take the essence out of and reproduce it in our own words. And if we can feel the content, if we can feel the topic, then the answers will be original.
Right. So because, always sociology, the beauty of sociology is different from other kinds of, natural science discipline is that there is no way of looking into what is real. What you see as real, why you see it as real, you have to give justification. And if you think about a question and think in your own way, looking into the content you have gathered, your answer will be different. Suppose, for example, Durkheim has given a theory of suicide. So he is looking into suicide because, he finds out rate of suicide is fixed in case of 5-6 countries. So what are the social factors influencing to suicide? That we can apply to India also. Rate of suicide is constant. Why it is so? Over a period of time, what is the problem in agriculture? Over a period of time, what is the problem in domestic front? Over a period of time, why youths are committing suicide? What is pertinent in character, persistent in character? So if a student think in those lines, it will not be difficult for the student to pick up examples and give content to answer. So therefore, to write an original answer, don't mechanically read the content that is being given to you, either in the form of a book or in the form of the material. Just ask this question to yourself. Why this topic is being discussed by somebody, in which context, and how that can be applied to contemporary times, then you have the answer, examples. Anything else you want to tell the students?
Sir, nothing else. I think we have broadly covered almost everything.
Okay. So be one like Puru. I am so happy and proud of him. So you all will be working hard, stay disciplined, and never give it up that I cannot do it. Everybody can do it. Only what you require is perseverance, devotion, dedication, and sense of purpose. Thank you so much for watching us.